Hey, welcome to the Quick Start Guide to Underwriting. I'm going to talk about it from top to bottom. In the beginning, we have obviously the page title, and this is the name of the asset they're underwriting, the type of asset. Remember, we're a multi-platform, so this could be co-living, it could be multifamily, and we're always working on a scenario, and you can have multiple scenarios. You could have your base, a conservative scenario, and then you can create a new scenario. Maybe you want to make a stressed or an upside scenario. You can just give it a name, write in your scenario descriptions, and then pick a color if you want, and just copy. So I'll typically create a base scenario and then copy from there, and like that, you have another scenario. It is so cool how fast you can create another scenario. Now, all this modeling flows down into the pro forma itself. This is your business plan, guys. And this one happens to be a year 7 exit. And you can see down below, after all of our costs and expenses, through this waterfall, we have a certain cash on cash and we have a certain DCR. And this is important. Our DCR tells us if we're able to get a refinance loan down the road, if we need to do that. You can also expand these areas to see what are the line items of this expense or this category. So what's my debt service? What does that look like? What are my CapEx projects coming out of cash flow? What are my reserve contributions? And if you have partnerships, this one happens to be a waterfall syndicate. What are my GP fees, etc. Now, the modeling itself is up here, and we have several tabs. A lot of this comes over from the lead itself. When you put in the lead and you add the asking price and the NOI, you may also add revenue there. That will flow over here. But when you model it, it'll show modeled right here. Now, if you come here and you toggle off modeling, then this is not driving the pro forma anymore. It's coming from the as-is revenue that you entered for the business. So it's as if you did nothing else to do value add and add more revenue. So that's just an indication, and you can come back and turn that on. And what you'll see is now it says model. And we've also modeled our expenses, and you can see the detailed expenses here. You can also model the growth of each expense individually, or you can put a global growth setting on everything. You can set up your season configuration if this is a seasonal business. And then we have our CapEx projects. And this is very, very important. If I come to my revenue stream and I say I want to add new tiny homes in year 2, then I probably need some CapEx projects to go get site prep going. I probably have to put water and septic in. In this case, I'm putting tiny homes in, and they're going to cost a lot of money. This one, I'm going to fund from reserves. So when I go to CapEx and edit, I'm actually, you just come here and say that I'm getting 100% from CapEx reserves. And this is important because it flows over into the loan area so that you know how much money to get a loan for. And then we come to our reserves. That's part of the reserves. This is really what drives that loan modeling over here. So we have our operating reserves. This is the how long can the business survive if we don't have the revenue? Like if we just stopped having revenue. How many months of revenue do we have that would cover, say, debt service as well? And then we have, and look, and this is downside protection. So if you have a waterfall where you have investors, this is you protecting their downside, making sure. And then we have our CapEx projects. This one is funded fully at closing, and this one is a hybrid, partial at closing, partial with cash coming out of cash flow. I will say this about operating reserves. You almost always want to have this funded at closing somehow if you can. We do allow you to do built from cash flow, but it's pretty advanced and it's not really recommended. And if you wonder why, you can go into the help. Again, we have this everywhere. Help is everywhere. And as I said, this all flows down to below. The loan modeling is really, really easy. We let you set the lien position, the loan purpose, and just to show you what I mean, we could go here and get rid of this loan. And now we've got this gap, this $371,000 gap. And this was a deal that we negotiated a seller carry on. They're going to carry the down payment for us, second position. We'll call it down payment. and it's for 300. It's for this amount right here, or I could just say fill with remaining. They're going to do 0% interest for 5 years, amortization of 25 years, and we're going to have 3 years of deferred payments. So no payments for 3 years. So it's a great deal. And then after that, it's going to be 3%. So we are fully funded. And look, you can even see in our uses and sources that our reserves came in here as well. Okay, so save and close. Now we've added a new loan. If you had an existing refinance loan, then you will want to come in and edit it and pay off that new loan. So we'll go down and do that right now. And by the way, as you come in here, your refinance loan, you just specify the year, your cap rate, your LTV, and your cap rate, it drives your valuation. So maybe we have stabilized NOI now, and it wasn't stabilized before. We might be able to get this refinanced at a compressed cap rate. So if I put an 8 in here, you'll notice the property value will go up because we have a compressed cap rate. So let me go here. We'll change that to an 8. You see it? You see that drive up? And I go back to a 10, and we're back to a conservative cap rate. And save changes. And now that is modeled down in our debt service. We can see when our refinance comes in. Our refinance loan takes over right here. Okay, that is a quick overview. It's just one more thing I want to say here. In the actions area, there are 2 more things to say. You can now do an investment summary that it brings up an investment summary that talks about the investment thesis, and this will help your investors. You'll be able to share this with your investors. It helps talk about their downside protection and capital discipline if you've modeled it, etc. You can also share this with people. You can have it be password protected. You set an expiration, and you can say, I don't want to share everything, because maybe you don't want to share the whole period scenarios because that gives you 3, 5, 7, and 10, and maybe this is a 5-year exit, so no sense letting them look at 3 years. And maybe you don't want to see the exit summary, or maybe you don't want to show them the modeling, you just want to show them the pro forma. And just create a link, and then you can copy that link and send it with them. Now, if you give it a name, it will show up in the share itself. So if I click this, it'll open up in another window, and you'll see this exact underwriting in that other window, and they'll also be able to see the investor report. How cool is that, right? So with that said, there's your quick start guide to DealStory underwriting. Have fun. Also, I would say if you have any issues, come down to the give us feedback area. If it's a bug, we're going to get right on it. It goes in our bug tracking system. If it's just general feedback, you know what we love the best? It's the stuff you hate, because that's a chance for us to innovate. We love hearing about the stuff you don't like and your pain points. If you want to tell us something good, we love that too. All right, see you in DealStory.